Hey guys, welcome back to the Calibrate Tools and DIY channel, live every Tuesday. I know nobody's here yet, but I know eventually you guys are going to trickle in. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing fine. And guess what? It's summertime, or this is almost summertime, and the heat is going to kick in if it hasn't already. I'm in Southern California, and it's already hot over here. Imagine if you lived in Vegas or any of the southwestern states. You're feeling it already. Or even if you're in the southeast, like Florida, Miami, Florida. Not only do you have the heat down there, you got the humidity as well, and that's a hell of a combination right there. Yeah, I used to live in South Florida, and that heat and humidity was nothing to play with, man. Then you got the alligators and mosquitoes and the roaches. Oh, crazy. Anyway, guys, title of the live tonight is Heatwave Coming, More Expensive to Stay Cool. Yes, it is. A heat wave is coming. Let's dive into that. I pulled up a piece on that. Let's read about it. Extreme heat is coming this week in many parts of the United States, the Midwest and Northeast in particular. We'll see weather that puts them in the National Weather Service's highest heat risk category, when lack of cooling or hydration can put almost anyone in harm's way. Yeah, those heat waves are nothing to play with. I don't know the stats on how many people pass away onto the next life during heat waves, but I know that nobody comes out of a heat wave unscathed. It's always a few people that say, "Oh man, it's time for me to get out of here." So there's nothing to play with, guys. And sometimes you don't even know you're dehydrated, right? People in my life tell me, "Hey man, you need to drink more water." And I tell them, "Did you ever see that 70-year-old guy online?" Right? You got to trust everything you see online, right? Did you ever see that 70-year-old guy online who does not drink water at all? Yeah, an older guy. He's 70 and he doesn't drink water. He's been doing that anyway. You guys can look that up. I digress. It goes on to say that many people do not realize how deadly extreme heat can be. Yeah. Well, no, you know what, Sherlock. Um, let's continue. It's just the first heat wave of the summer, with more likely ahead. Uh, if you need evidence to convince any stubborn family members that no, they aren't immune to extreme heat, and yes, we should put the AC in the window, it's saying that we got you covered, talking about the people who wrote the article. Okay, how do you measure extreme heat? I'm going to jump around here, guys. I'm not going to burden you with all this verbiage. It says the heat index, or the feels like temperature, okay, which takes humidity into account, is commonly used to gauge heat stress on the body. But some experts argue that we need to move away from the heat index as a way of measuring risk and instead use the wet bulb globe temperature, whatever that is. Wet globe bulb temperature. Okay. Which assesses risk using wind speed and solar radiation in addition to temperature and humidity. Wet bulb globe temperature is measured by putting a thermometer in the sun covered by a wet cloth. Okay, guys, so now you got to go out there and get your thermometers and then get a wet cloth, cover it. Okay, we got that. This differs from the heat index method, which utilizes a thermometer in the shade. Okay. Learn something new today. Okay. Some experts also believe that on top of new measurements, we need a new system of warning people about extreme heat. Heat warnings are issued based on the probability of high heat, but people may experience poor health outcomes at a lower temperature than what triggers a warning. In other words, they're saying don't just rely on high heat, okay, to issue a heat warning, because it doesn't have to be a higher temperature for people to, pretty much die. Okay. These systems often look at simply whatever the peak temperature is for a given day, but health impacts are also linked to high overnight temperatures, especially for vulnerable populations Okay, that would be older people and probably children, or people with pre-existing conditions as well. Okay, what can heat do to you? Okay, guys, I know I'm going through this, but I'm getting into the meat of the live here, which is more about the HVAC side of things and why it's getting more expensive in that world. So stick with me here, okay? What can heat do to you? It says it starts at birth. Many studies have shown that heat waves are associated with an increased risk of preterm birth. Okay, so in other words, the heat, I guess when you're pregnant during the heat wave, it makes you have a baby quicker. It's like it forces it out. That's what I'm getting from that. It says one recent paper analyzed more than half of all births in the U.S. between 1993 and 2017, finding that in the days after a heat wave, preterm births increased by 2% and early births by 1%. Kind of makes sense, right? And this may sound kind of crude, but if you drink hot liquid, doesn't it seem that you may have to go to the bathroom after doing that? It's like it does something to the body. So, yeah, kind of makes sense, right? Perhaps the biggest health risks during the heat waves are to our cardiovascular health. When the body is suffering under extreme heat, the heart begins pumping faster to distribute boiling blood out to extremities like fingers and toes and away from sensitive organs. Heat strokes occur when the body fails to cool itself down, and there's also a risk for heart attacks, strokes, or heart failure in high heat. Think about it. It's almost like a car that's overheating, right? Um, Thermostat broken or something happened. There's a leak or a radiator leak or something like that, and it overheats just like the body. Yeah. This is a machine here. A study last year found that between 2008 and 2019, extreme heat was linked to more than 1,600 excess cardiovascular deaths. That's the stat I was looking for. Like this each year in the U.S. and they predict that these deaths could increase by as much as 233% annually as temperatures continue to rise due to climate change. Okay, so I'll get back to that guy. I'll get back to the article later, but I want to switch over to the other side of this, which I wanted to discuss is that, yeah, things are getting hot. We all want to cool down, and we have HVAC systems for that. But HVAC systems today are getting more expensive. So a heat wave will not only tax your life if you're not careful, but it'll definitely tax your bank account, especially if you have an old system that needs to be replaced. Because, with tech, new things come down the line and they're either more efficient or this or that. And guess what? That's going to cost you more. But when it comes to your life, who cares, right? So let's dive into why the HVAC world is experiencing um, higher prices, which of course will be passed on to you as the customer. Let me see who else is in there. Okay. So it says HVAC equipment prices expected to keep rising. This is interesting, guys, because when you're talking about HVAC, you're talking about the thing about the HVAC trade. I did an interview with an HVAC professional a few maybe I think it was last year. It's on the channel. Go please check it out. By the way, guys, please hit that subscribe button if you're you're appreciating the content that I'm bringing you. And don't forget to go to calibrate.com and see what we have for you as well. It says in recent years, the cost of HVAC equipment has increased significantly. Okay. Raw material. This is the perfect recipe for prices going up. I mean, it was summed up perfectly right here. Raw material prices are definitely going up. Supply chain issues, which we experienced the extreme case, the most extreme case of supply chain issues just about a couple of years ago when the big C happened and everybody couldn't get their goods and services. It was like a train wreck when it came to supply chain issues. Then you have high demand, right? This is like a chain reaction. And then you have labor shortages. So the last couple of years ago when the big C happened, all of these things converged at the same time. Okay. And of course, prices went through the roof on a lot of things, lumber being one of them. By the way, I talked about the cost of lumber in a few of my videos as well, if you're interested in hearing about that topic. Then a lot of other things people don't think about are regulatory changes that happen all the time that are not specific to a particular time or period, but it's just what people, when, it just what Congress or whoever, the lobbyists, want to do to change the laws and stuff that can affect prices as well. You have organizations like the Environmental Protection Agency, especially when it comes to when you're dealing with hazardous materials and things like that, things that can affect the environment in a negative way. Those changes in the regulatory system can definitely drive prices through the roof. Okay. So let's see here. Let's continue. They have this new refrigerant. I just did a video. Go check out the last video I did on why your portable AC may be shutting down on you. Okay. And if you want to know how a portable AC works, go check out that video as well. And you'll find that there is an ingredient in an HVAC system that helps it all work. And that's called refrigerant. Okay. It's called refrigerant. You don't see it, but it's there. It's the reason why the thing works in the first place. And the reason you don't see it is because these systems are what you call sealed systems. Okay. You just can't open it up and drain it out or anything like that. You need to take it to a pro in order for that your refrigerant to get changed or recharged. In order to recharge the system, you need to take it to a pro, because these are not meant for just average DIYers to tackle. Okay, so they have new refrigerants coming online. One of them is called the A2L. Okay, and it's supposed to be less flammable than the traditional refrigerant that's put in there. One of them being R410. Okay, and so that's coming online. That's a new, like I said, a new refrigerant type, and it's definitely more expensive. And it's supposed to be better for you. It's less flammable. What else about A2L is better? Let me look it up. It's supposed to be more energy efficient. And of course, all this leads to lower utility bills, okay, for you. So they're going to market the hell out of that, right? Energy efficient. It's not as dangerous as the old refrigerant, all that stuff. So they're gonna charge you for this stuff, okay? It's not, it's not meant to, they're not in the business of taking less money from you. Whatever they give in terms of features and benefits of whatever product they have on there, a price tag comes with it all the time. Okay, so if you're in the market for a new HVAC system and you have these regulatory changes that are required, you're going to pay for it. They're going to pass all that on to the customer, and that would be you. Okay. Let's continue. Let us continue. Okay. So yeah, homeowners are already experiencing some sticker shock. I'm referencing this article here. Sticker shock when it comes to buying new R410A systems since the beginning of 2020. Equipment prices have gone up roughly 40%, but more importantly, the average system price has gone up almost 100%. They're quoting this owner of an HVAC company. He noted that the average system was just about $6,000 for a residential replacement at the beginning of 2020. Guess how much it is right now, guys? Guess how much it is right now? The average price of a new residential system replacement is double that, around $12,000. So if you're not budgeting right before the summer hits, right, you're going to be hurting if your old system conks out on you. You're going to be hurting. So I would definitely put that money aside. If you're not balling like that, you definitely want to be more attentive to where your money goes if you're thinking about living comfortably when the heat hits. And once I started off this live talking about a heat wave coming down the pike, or if it's not already here in some parts of the country. Okay. Let's continue. Part of the increase, talking about the price increase, has been the equipment. The equipment, okay, it's like I stated before, and I talked about the EPA's minimum efficiency standard, and the cost of refrigerant has quadrupled, meaning it's about 3 or 4 times about what it was, mostly due to the phase down and the coming implementation, like I said, of this new type of refrigerant called A2L refrigerants, right? And yeah, so just want to drop it on you guys that, some of the things you take for granted around your home, like ACs and all, your HVAC system and your cooling systems like that, they can hit you hard, you know, even if they're not doing that bad. You still may have to replace them at some point because of these regulatory changes coming down the pike. And either you're going to feel the heat, literally feel the heat, or your pocketbook, your wallet, your bank account is going to feel the heat one way or the other. So how are you going to prepare for that? How are you going to prepare for that, guys? Let's see here. Okay. So anyway, guys, I wanted to drop that on you, but um, it doesn't matter what kind of like AC system or HVAC system you got going on. You're still responsible for your health. Make sure that you have enough liquids in your system. Drink water, all that good stuff, and you should be okay, right? If you can't afford a HVAC replacement, work with the one you got, I guess. But nothing beats hydrating your system, right? To keep you away from those possible health scares that heat waves bring. Okay, guys. So anyway, that's the live for tonight. Hope you got some information out of this. Do your own research. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Appreciate you guys helping the channel grow. And let's shoot for, more good content. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.